Hey, everybody. I know that's not the face you were expecting to see, although it's a lovely one and one of my favorites, but my camera just stopped being recognized by my computer. I mean, just now, this minute. I don't know why. Hopefully the sound is good. Um, have a wee announcement about that. This is so weird and I don't know what to do. So, if you all are okay with pressing on, let me know because I really want to tell you about this New York Times article. It's amazing. Yeah. Okay. Oh, good. Thank you, Cadence. I'm glad the sound is good. The sound is good because I am using a new Yeti microphone oh gosh, and I did not turn off notifications on my phone. I apologize for that. I'm using a new Yeti microphone that was given sent as a complete surprise to Junk Shop and I by some good friends of the channel who wish to remain anonymous. But I want to thank them very much and just say thank you, thank you. You know who you are, and you're lovely, and you're beautiful and amazing. Okay, and with that, yeah, so we're just doing it this way tonight. I was gonna explain to y'all why I didn't have a thank you. Why I didn't have a glass of wine. That's because I'm recovering from some minor and flawed, and I'm not gonna get into it here, oral surgery yesterday. And I decided of much earlier today that I was gonna stop trying to be a freaking hero and just take the damn pain pill that they gave me. So you can't drink with those. This is a dude, I was prescribed hydrocodone, only a few tablets, which is good because it does really fucking hurt. But no, you never drink on top of an opioid, y'all. That's a really easy way to lose your ability to breathe. Okay, so having given you my non-medical expert public service announcement, it's really not a good idea, Cadence. Yeah, I would not. You can, yes, you can probably do it. That's great. You can probably do it once. Yeah, you could do it once. You can stir your brain once too. But that's it. That's all you get. All right. Let me check in. Okay, so I thanked the fantabulous, wonderful, beautiful, lovely friends of the channel who totally surprised us today. Just a big package came and I was like, I mean, it was glorious. And so thanks again one last time to those folks who wish to remain anonymous, but you know who you are and you know how much we appreciate it. Thank you. Really put some wind back in my sails, actually, figuratively speaking. I needed why did I have to say figuratively speaking? I don't have sails. I'm not a ship. Okay, anyway, moving on. I was having a rough time. I still kind of am, you know. We got a lot of weird health stuff going on. We got weird med stuff going on, along with prescribing the pain pill. The dentist also had to prescribe steroids because, like I said, the surgery didn't go like it was supposed to, and I'm gonna have to go back and have more done, which sucks because now I know what it feels like. And it's like that's okay. So yeah. Oh, Cadence, your sound is always good. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, if you're watching this now or in the future, folks who sent the microphone, it's getting all the compliments. So thank you so much. Yeah, sound is amazing, Julie. I hope mine sounds like good. Cadence, your voice is like ASMR. My voice sounds kind of crappy right now because I have sorry, I have a freaking, y'all know, got a sinus infection on top of all this nonsense. Sorry, I should have said pause for water. Okay, so, oh, Harmonica Man's buffering is bad again tonight. That sucks. No, it's cool. Just hang out, man. I just love seeing you there. So hi to Harmonica Man. Welcome. Cadence was first in the chat. Not that it's a race, but purple rhymes with orange. Greetings to you, sentient being. It is always a pleasure to see you. B, not just B. Always a pleasure. Love you. I'm sorry I missed I missed your stream last night because I was just frankly in a lot of pain, and I couldn't focus on anything because last night was the night when I really should have really needed the pain med, but I was trying not to take it because I don't like opioids and they scare me a little bit. But yeah, today I gave in. I was like, screw it. I don't have to drive anywhere. It's okay. And it's good that I didn't have to drive anywhere because my goodness, these things make me loopy. So this should be interesting tonight. All right. I'm also going to say hello to my darling, my love, my beautiful partner. Junk Shop Library is in the chat. And I think that's everybody as of right now. Yeah, I think so. Okay. All right. Well, let's get this show on the road because this article I want to share with y'all. Yeah, thank you, Purple. You're right. You're right. I know you're right. They were prescribed for a reason, and I would have had a much better evening and been able to sleep better had I gone ahead and just taken one last night. I should have. Okay, but learned my lesson, and I'm only taking them as prescribed, being very careful, like clocking myself, making sure there's been plenty of time. When it starts to hurt again, I double check and make sure I'm like writing it down and shit because I'm like I said, these things scare me. I did a lot of stupid, impulsive shit that I'm not going to go into with drugs when I was a young person, but I don't play anymore. No, it's I'm not judging anyone else, but yeah, that part of my life is over. So, okay, here we go. So yeah, that was me lighting a cigarette. Hope you enjoyed that. Okay, let's get into this shit. This is crazy Catholic shit. All right, so I'm going back to my roots, but it's touching on current events. As most of you know, President Joe Biden is the second Roman Catholic to ever be elected president of the United States. The first was fairly obscure president. Nobody's really heard of him. He was assassinated. John F. Kennedy, JFK was the first Catholic. And he actually had to come out and make a public statement at the time when he was elected. I don't have a source for this. I'm sorry. These kinds of stories become pretty epic if you come from a large Catholic family, an extended Catholic family in particular. So I've heard this from more than one relative who was there in the room or watching the TV, watching him, make the statement. They were all over that election. Excuse me. Back in the glorious days of old, when many of my religious family members still voted Democrat because they would vote for the candidate, not the party, including my parents. They used to do that. Oh, gosh. But anyway, other than that, I'm glad I was born later because the 60s were rough. Okay, so here we go. So JFK was our first Catholic president, and he actually had to come out while he was running and make a promise to the American people that, hey, Susan Turpin's in the house, y'all. What? All right. That was weird. I don't know why I said what like that. I won't do that again. I promise. But yeah, so we, somebody fill Susan in on the weird technical difficulties, but on how much, and then on why the sound's better. Okay. So weird difficulties with the camera sounds better. Okay, stay on topic, woman. Sorry, I'm on steroids and a pain pill, and so this is going to be hard. So, all right, he had to make a promise that President JFK had to make a promise that none of his decisions would come from Rome, because that was a genuine concern for a lot of Protestant Americans. See, they were concerned about a little something called separation of church and state. And they did not want, they were afraid that if a Roman Catholic was elected president, he would put the interests of Rome and the Vatican and his religion over the interests of our country, our nation, our secular nation that has freedom of religion and the Establishment Clause. I'm glad you enjoyed the what, Susan. That makes it okay. That makes me feel better about it. All right. Yeah. So that was a thing that he had to do. And it was a legitimate concern of theirs, right? Because, we should care about separation of church and state. All right. And here we're getting hit with it again. So let's go. I'm going to go to the article now. It's linked in the description. It's from the New York Times. It's by Jason Horowitz. He is their Rome correspondent. It was published on June 14th and updated today. So this is as up to date as it gets. The title is Vatican warns U.S. bishops, don't deny Biden communion over abortion. So if some of you haven't heard about this, there is a conservative group of bishops, Catholic bishops. And I know some of you are thinking, oh, there are liberal Catholic bishops. Well, for Catholics, yes, there are. Because again, while Catholic doctrine condemns abortion as murder because of the whole bullshit teaching that isn't even backed up biblically, by the way, that not okay. It's a matter of interpretation, but anyway, they believe that life begins at conception, right? So it's the argument that most pro-life people have, and it's a deeply held belief for a lot of people. However, there are also a lot of Catholics who understand that this is how I used to think when I was a Catholic, I was like, well, I would never get an abortion, but I'm not going to tell another woman what she can and can't do with her body in probably one of the most stressful and difficult decisions she might have to make, yada, yada, all that stuff, which is, I realize now, condescending as fuck. You don't have to justify anything to me that you're doing with your own body. That's your body. It's your business. And I'm sorry, a zygote or a clump of cells with a few nerves is not a fucking baby. Okay. If it was, we'd have to have funerals every time someone miscarried. And I mean, miscarried, like without even realizing it, like that's happened to most people with wombs at some point. Yeah. All right, moving on back to the article, because I went off on a tangent again. Me, never. I would never just go off on a tangent. No, I totally do that all the time. I'm going to try and stay on task, though, because this is way more complicated than I thought. So I'd heard about this group of bishops, and tomorrow, excuse me, I apologize. Tomorrow is the conference. It's the U.S. Catholic Bishops Conference. I'll get the exact name when I scroll down here further. And what this now conservative, when we're talking about, and I realize, yes, with the Catholic caveat, okay, so they're all of these bishops are going to be conservative compared to anybody in the stream right now and listening to this in this moment. But they're only about half of this group of bishops, of U.S. bishops, are conservative. And that information is in this article. So this is it's about half. And what they want to do is let me find the exact thing. Okay. Is they want this is so bizarre because this could actually open a rift between Rome and the Catholic Church in America, and I don't know that that's ever happened before. This is what I meant when I said that Biden has some interesting allies in this fight, and that ally is the Pope, the motherfucking Pope in Rome. So basically, what they want to do, and this is headed by Archbishop Jose Gomez of Los Angeles, who is the president of the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops this year. Funnily enough, he completely disagrees with Pope Francis on just about everything. He's a big fan of ex-President Trump, yeah, Archbishop Gomez has also been repeatedly passed over by Pope Francis for elevation to the rank of cardinal. So yeah, I'm sure there's no sour grapes there or anything. Okay, so to quote this motherfucker, quote, the focus of this proposed teaching document. So it would be basically you know what, I was about to say that like I really know what a proposed teaching document means, but it does have to do with like essentially new doctrinal teaching coming in. And so the focus of this proposed teaching document, Archbishop Gomez wrote in a memo, is on how best to help people to understand the beauty and the mystery of the Eucharist as the center of their Christian lives. Oh, do not try to play a player, motherfucker. That's so, ugh, all that flowery language. No, what they want to do with this is vote on it and try to make it a thing in the United States that if you are a politician and you are a Catholic and you support reproductive rights, you are not allowed to take communion anymore. That's what they want. And I know, guys, I've done it. You've seen me do it. We love to make fun of the communion thing, especially the Catholic, very literal concept of, transubstantiation, and that, every weekend everybody's seeing a miracle in church as the wine and wafer is turned into the blood and body of Jesus. And we all joke about how many times over Jesus must have been eaten by now, and yada, yada, yada. Pause for water. We've all done it. But I was raised in this religion, and I can tell you that the only reason I find that so hilarious now is because I don't think there's a God, and I don't think any of it's real, and now that seems especially silly. But when I was in it, communion is a very big deal. It's arguably the most important sacrament, at least for Catholics on mass. I don't mean mass like Catholics going to church. I mean like all Catholics. It's a very big deal because it's the sacrament that you repeat every week, and it is literally to have Christ inside of you. Oh wow, gosh. I'm sorry. It's hard to put that Catholic hat back on. Okay, I'm sorry. It's the Eucharist is the consecrated wafer, right? But it's called communion for a reason. It's a way of literally, and not just symbolically, but literally communing with God and being part of the larger body of Christ, which is the church. If that makes sense. And I'll answer questions if I can about that, if any come up in the chat. But okay, so that's what they're trying to do. And that I got that from this article as well. They wrote to Rome, to the Vatican, saying this is what we want. Now, the reason that Pope Francis is against it is, again, using flowery language. He says that communion, quote, is not the reward of saints, but the bread of sinners. So that's a little backhanded, very Catholic thing right there. Like, I had to tack a guilt trip on, like, but this is interesting. Okay, so Antonio Spadaro is a Jesuit priest, and he said the concern in the Vatican is not to use access to the Eucharist as a political weapon, and that's where we get to the separation of church and state problem. Is these conservative bishops are attempting to use a very important and very sacred to Catholics sacrament, taking communion, the receiving of Holy Communion, in order to basically punish Catholic Democrats, liberal Catholics who support Planned Parenthood or who support reproductive rights, who think that a bunch of old celibate white men shouldn't really be allowed to tell me whether I can terminate a pregnancy or not. Yeah. So the Vatican has warned these American bishops to pump the brakes and not to deny communion to politicians supportive of abortion rights, because, including President Biden, because that is actually what the letter that Gomez is proposing. The letter would specifically cite Catholic politicians. So all up in our church and state, right? I mean, all up in the Establishment Clause. So despite the Republic stop sign from Rome, and I'm paraphrasing a bit from the article here, the American bishops are pressing ahead anyway, and they're going to force a debate on the communion issue during their Skype conference tomorrow. I say Skype during it's going to be a remote conference because of the pandemic, and also just distance, I think, is a big factor too. We have a big country. So yeah, so this is interesting. So to quote the article, quoting Jason Horowitz, the vote threatens to shatter the facade of unity with Rome, highlight the political polarization within the American church, and set what church historians consider a dangerous precedent for bishops' conferences across the globe. And that's when the Jesuit comes in and it says using the Eucharist as a political weapon. All right. So yeah, so we hit on that. Okay, so it gets even more complicated. All right. So in 2004, back when John Kerry was running for president, at that annual U.S. Bishops Conference, a group tried to put forth a similar thing. They wanted John Kerry, who is also a practicing Catholic. They wanted but he, supported Roe v. Wade, and they wanted to make Catholic lawmakers, not. They wanted to punish them by denying them communion. And it goes into an intrusion of matters of state. And the Vatican is worried about that, which is fascinating to me. But I'm definitely worried about it because that's terrifying. Yeah. And so in 2004, they tried to do the same thing to John Kerry. But luckily, that time, a very different bishop was leading the conference that year. And he also happens to be the bishop in over the Diocese of Washington. And he has said that he will not refuse communion to any politicians, or just because they support the secular law of the land. And I'm trying to find his name right now, and I can't find it. There's so much going on in this article. So what's going on here is that these conservative American bishops are largely out of step with Pope Frankie's agenda, because he wants to put climate change, migrants, and poverty on the church's front burners. Sadly, not addressing, you may have noticed the absence of vicious child abuse there. Systemic, vicious, covering up, cabal-like child abuse. Not putting that on the church's front burner, no siree. But that's a rant for another day, because my voice is going already, and we got to get through this. It's amazing. Okay, so Reverend Thomas J. Reese, a Jesuit priest. You're going to notice that a lot here, guys. When a word like senior analyst comes up, and you hear it's a priest, it's usually a Jesuit. They're like the back in the day being hundreds and thousands of years ago, or hundreds of years ago, in the Middle Ages, they were the hardcore. They certainly were hardcore evangelicals. They went all over the world trying to convert people, but they're also an incredibly scholarly order. And so, so Reverend Thomas J. Reese, a Jesuit priest and a senior analyst with Religion News Service, said conservatives constitute at least half of the American Bishops' Conference and could have the votes to begin the process of drafting a teaching document about who can receive communion and who cannot. However, it is unlikely, and this is fantastic, quote, it is unlikely the conservatives would be able to ultimately ratify such a document, which would require unanimous support from all the country's bishops. And as I said, only about a third of the conference is only roughly half of the conference is conservative. Or so either unanimous, all U.S. bishops, and the bishop in Washington has already said he's not going to, and so have 67 other American bishops who signed a letter saying that they sent to Archbishop Gomez asking him to remove this item from the virtual meetings agenda on May 13th. And he has not. But so clearly not all U.S. bishops are going to vote for this. The only other way they could get it done is if 2/3 voted for it and they had the Vatican's approval. I said reproval. That was a great Freudian slip. Approval, which they don't, and which the Vatican has already publicly said. They've said, don't do this. Don't do this. You can't hold politicians hostage by their religion, assholes. Which is weird. It feels so weird for me in this moment that I'm like, oh, thank goodness for the fucking Vatican and Pope Frank. But thank goodness, I am really glad that he's coming out on this side of things. I have a lot of criticism for him, but in this moment, I'm oddly in agreement. But they are going to bring it to a debate, and that means that the issue could stay alive. And certainly give the president a nagging headache, and other Catholic politicians who support abortion rights as well. It's going to be rough for them, and I am trying to, come at this from I'm talking about politicians and Catholics. The Catholic Church as an institution is such a heaping, moldering pile of putrid garbage, but individual people are individual people, and there are a lot of good people who also happen to be Catholic. So I'm trying to, and some of whom I'm related to and love very much. And I'm trying to come at this from a place of compassion and not totally just laugh my ass off at it, because it is kind of funny. It's like we had to get the Pope to align himself with the liberal Democratic, also happens to be Catholic President Biden, and also get liberal for Catholics bishops to be okay with saying, yes, abortion is a grievous sin, but Catholic politicians who support abortion rights shouldn't be denied communion just because they're doing their job. Like they recognize the separation of church and state. How Biden feels about abortion in his heart, that's I don't know. But he knows what he does understand is that our nation and slightly over half the population that, you know, in it that has wombs is better off, so much better off having control over our own bodies. We need to be the ones who decide what happens and what doesn't. Okay. So, I found him. Cardinal. He's not a bishop. I'm so sorry. He is a cardinal. Wilton Gregory, the Archbishop of Washington. Oh, okay. Okay. I guess it can be both. I guess you can be both. He has the ultimate decision on whether to deny communion to President Biden in the Archdiocese of Washington. He has made it abundantly clear that he will not. He will not deny the president communion. And this goes back to what I was talking about in 2004 with John Kerry. That Cardinal Gregory was then a bishop and hadn't been elevated to cardinal yet. That's what they call it. Elevated is promoted, but they got to make it all fancy. And so that year, conservative bishops sought to deny communion to then Democratic presidential nominee John Kerry for his support of abortion rights. And conservatives had more support in the Vatican back then because the top doctrinal official at the time was a certain Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger. That's right. You know him. You hate him. Pope Benedict, the, Roman numeral 16th, who, former Nazi youth, the only pope that I know of in history to ever step down because he was so hated. He wrote at the time back in 2004 as a cardinal as the top doctrinal official that politicians who persistently supported abortion rights were unworthy to receive the sacrament. Well, fuck that guy right in the face. Fuck your face, man. And he's gone and we don't have to worry about him anymore. But Kerry, I am worried about. He is President Biden's climate envoy, and he doesn't want to relive this shit. And it's luckily, and again, at the meeting in 2004, the American bishops chose instead to let individual bishops decide on a case-by-case basis whether or not they would give communion to politicians who were for reproductive rights. How do we not all just lose our fucking minds? So Kerry tried recently, we met up with the Pope and Pope Francis, and this year recently, and he tried to say that people in America had matured a lot, and since his run-in with conservative bishops, and that there is tolerance for, quote, people to act on their faith in ways that do not somehow cross a line into politics. However, I love John Kerry, but I'm sure, but he was placating, he was politicking, because honestly, we know that's not the case. We live here. The American church has become more political and more extremist. Certainly elements of it have. And the Pope knows that. And there's been a lot more polarization in America's church politics in the last 17 years. It's this thing is really bizarre, and I'm not giving it the justice it deserves, in part because there's just so much. On May 1st, the archconservative Bishop of San Francisco, Salvatore J. Cordileone, I'm not even making up that name. I'm not. That's the name. Let's say that one more time all together. San Francisco. Okay. Archconservative Bishop of San Francisco. Is that the right city? Is that the right diocese for an archconservative bishop? I don't know that it is. Okay. Archconservative Bishop of San Francisco, Salvatore J. Cordileone, issued a letter arguing that, quote, erring Catholic, end quote, politicians who supported abortion rights should be excluded from communion. Now, it will interest some of you to know that House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is a Catholic. I didn't know that. And a staunch supporter of abortion rights. She's also a parishioner in Cordileone's San Francisco diocese, which means that Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, could be denied communion by this asshole. Just go to church in Washington, honey. Just go there. Don't go back home for church. You're in Washington most of the time anyway. All right. God damn it. Okay, so soon after, Archbishop Gomez, remember him? He's the guy who's spearheading this whole madness. He sent a letter to the Vatican chief's current doctrinal office, informing it that the American Bishops' Conference was preparing to tackle, quote, the worthiness to receive Holy Communion, end quote, by Catholic politicians who support abortion rights at their June meeting. So he told the Vatican's doctrinal office well in advance that this was going down, and that's why the Vatican has had time to respond. And how dare he? The worthiness to receive Holy Communion. There are a lot of people out there who, like I said, they understand that our country, women in this country, anyone with a womb in this country, and by extension, everyone else is better off when abortion is safe and legal and accessible. I mean, read Freakonomics, but yeah, there are many factors. One is my life is not completely and utterly tied to my reproductive cycle. I can make choices about what I want my life to be. And there are people who absolutely believe that abortion is murder, and who, when they vote for pro-choice or abortion rights supporting politicians like Joe Biden and like John Kerry, they do it with a heavy heart. That weighs on their conscience, but they do it because they know that it's the best thing for everyone. And they understand separation of church and fucking state. It's not that hard. And here we go. On May 7th, Cardinal Ladaria, we're basically getting into a bunch of old Catholic guys arguing now, so I'll cut, this will be the last bit that I pull, I think. But Cardinal Ladaria, the Vatican was getting really fucking frustrated because they kept saying, no, don't do that. No to Gomez. No, don't do that. No, don't do that. And Gomez kept writing back saying, no, we're doing this. We're doing this. We're going to force a debate. And the Vatican apparently saw enough. On May 7th, Cardinal Ladaria wrote Archbishop Gomez urging caution. He said it would be misleading to present abortion and euthanasia as the only grave matters of Catholic moral and social teaching. And is he sure as shit not kidding? Because I'm sorry, but no, I'm not sorry. Not fucking sorry. When you are trying to control people's sex lives, you're trying to control how many babies they have, which is for Catholic people as many as humanly possible, and you're trying to and now you want to extend that control to extend through politicians to legislate my fucking vagina. No, it's not a good idea, and you don't have the moral high ground until Your clergy, stop abusing children. And I'm avoiding a word that we all know I'm saying, right? I'm doing it because I don't want this video to get yanked. I don't want it to get suppressed. So I'm not saying the R word, but I fucking mean the R word. And yes, Susan, it is oxymoronic. I'm back over here now, guys. I couldn't see the chat for a while. Yeah, every sperm is sacred. Every sperm is good. Every sperm. No, wait. Every sperm is great. That's the part I wanted to do, but now I've probably. That's getting a little close to the time limit, but yeah. If a sperm is wasted, God gets quite irate. All right. So yeah. Oh, this is a good point. Hang on. Purple. I could take right to life more seriously if they gave a damn about the pregnant mother or about the child after they were born. Thank you, Purple. You are absolutely right, my friend. No, well, yeah, because the thing is, I love me some Monty Python too. I can't help it. Yeah, the thing is that the same people who tend to vote pro-life also tend to vote to, slash budgets for social programs, like WIC, which provides formula for children of parents in economic distress, and SNAPs benefits, and basically all the social safety nets. They tend to push against those. So they don't give a fuck what happens to you when you're growing up in poverty with no food in the house, what you might have to do to get food in the house. They don't care. They don't care. They just want to make sure that you're born. Oh. Okay. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. Yeah. Junie, you are absolutely correct. Junie the Apostate says, yeah, but we have religious politicians bringing their beliefs to the table. Yes, we do. All over the place. And that's why this current Supreme Court scares the bejesus out of me, because I don't want to, gosh, I hate it when I feel myself being superstitious, but I almost don't want to say it out loud. It's like how you kind of say cancer. You don't want to say cancer too loud, as if God might hear and smite you with it. Oh, sorry. I stole that from Billy Crystal. That's not mine, but yeah, cancer. But no, we do. We have them bringing their belief to the table, and now we have several on the Supreme Court who are bringing their beliefs to the Supreme Court, and it's very likely that we're gonna lose Roe v. Wade. It's possible. I'm not going to say very likely. I'm not going to give them that, but it is possible. Pale Blue Mama, hey, it is so good to see you. Sorry, just scrolling up to see who I missed. This is oh wow. Oh yeah. Hang on. Thank you. Oh yeah, my uncle is coming next month from Austria. He's a Catholic Monsignor. Oh, that's right. I've heard you talk about him before. I really hope we are out of here before then, because I cannot talk to him. Oh, I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Oh, that sucks. I had two great uncles who were Franciscan monks, and well, more than two, but the two that I knew well were Miles and Roman, and they were just lovely. They were lovely human beings. And then one of my other great uncles, who was also a Franciscan and a monk, was not a wonderful human being. Yeah, real motherfucker, that guy. Okay, so moving on, as I'm spilling family tea everywhere. All right. Oh God. Oh B. That sucks. That's awful. Seriously, in New Mexico. Oh, that must be so frustrating. I wouldn't want to know. Gomez Adams as Harmonica Man? That's hilarious. No, that would be awesome, because Gomez Adams is amazing. He's an amazing character. This Archbishop Gomez is a dick. All right. Yeah. So that's the situation as near as I can figure it out. Yeah, Roman the Catholic. Yes, Purple, you are correct. I'll tell you another family secret. This is it. It's just a first name thing. So, sweetheart, you don't have to freak out. I know you're listening in the other room. Yeah, Roman is his. When you become a lot of you probably know this, but when you become a priest or a nun or a sister or a monk, whatever it is, when you go through that process, you stop using the name you were born with, and you take on a religious name. So he was born Edgar, which is one of my favorite names because of Edgar Allan Poe. But when he took his vows, he changed his name to Roman. I believe after the book of Roman, but Romans rather, or I don't know, from the Bible. I don't know. I never asked him why, but yeah, a Roman Catholic who was Roman, the Franciscan monk. Yes. And he was short and spoke fluent German and could read Greek and Latin and was hilarious and always making jokes and was just kind and beautiful. And I miss him. Yeah, but he was very, very old and he lived a good long time, so it's okay. What you were already born with a biblical name? No, you're christened. Well, you may have a name that comes from the Bible, but yeah, I don't know. Like my name doesn't. Julie is not a biblical name. It's Greek from Julius, because the Greeks like to name their daughters after their dads. So Julia came from that. But yeah, but a lot of people have biblical names. But yeah, and then I'm sorry. No, I know you're joking. I'm trying to focus again. I apologize. Hey, Ox. Ox says, roaming Catholics. Isn't that what the bishops are called after service? Roaming around the altar boys. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much. Susan is in the Bible. Yes, it is. It's a Hebrew name. You've got a very ancient name, Susan. I can't remember what it means. I had an obsession for many years with what names mean. Ironically, my middle name means pure. That's fucking hilarious. Yeah, I'm as pure as the driven on snow, let me tell you. Very much an old lady named Susan. I actually I know a way younger than you, Susan, by the way. So just so you know, it's a classic name. It's back in style. All right. So my voice is seriously going. Whew. Okay. Oh, Purple says, in choosing a new name. Oh, that's right. You have been doing that. I found it a bit difficult to avoid biblical references. It really is difficult. You kind of, yeah, you basically have to go to like like more like when like more than 5,000 years ago. Like you have to go back to ancient Greece or Rome. But yeah, a lot of that book, it is fascinating. As much as I wish there wasn't so much religiosity, and as much as I desperately hope that and think we are moving toward that, all of my hope is placed on this new generation coming up that a lot of them do not identify as religious. Not as many of them full out say they're atheists, but they just say, no, I don't believe in any of that. And that's good enough for now. I'm cool with that. So yeah, I have they give me hope, the young people. They give me hope. What can I tell you? Oh, Harmonica Man. Okay, so your name is Old English and Norse, and it translates into, I just saw it. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Oh, wow. Chat is jumping. I like it. My name translates to Wolf Warrior. Well, that's sexy and badass. God damn. Whew. I'm gonna have to get a fan. I'm sorry. I don't mean to. That's a great name. That's fantastic. Oh, yeah, that's amazing. I had no idea. Oh, by the way, Nathaniel. Oh, yeah, yeah. Hey, guys. Yeah, I'll chill for anybody up in here. Hey, oh, by the way, Nathaniel will be streaming here in about 40 minutes in case anyone wants to join in. I think my voice is going to be gone, but I will try to watch for sure. I can be in chat and not talk because, oh, it's going right now. Or in about an hour, actually. Sorry, slight update. There we go. Okay. No, it does. Aw, seriously? I'm not putting that up there. My mother always said I was a surprise, which I thought was lovely word choice on her part. That's lovely. You definitely aren't a mistake, my friend. I'm glad to know you very much. Very glad to know you. Honored to know you even. Yeah, that's an old joke my friend Melanie used to use because she heard my mother say that once that you were a wonderful surprise, and Melanie says, "Oh, that's funny. My mom always said mistake," and luckily we knew her mom, or she had a great mom. So we were all able to laugh at that, but it was yeah. Had we not known her mom, that would have been a dark joke. Oh my goodness. All right. Yeah, so I guess purple, I'd say go back to some of the old countries and the older languages maybe and for looking for a name. Like I said, Julie, Julius, Julia, Julian, any form of that is Greek. It's not biblical. My middle name is biblical, but I'm not going to say that. I think that's y'all know. Y'all know my real name anyway. But uh, the weird piece of trivia just floated to my head. The Hebrew name Rebecca, right? Rebecca is such a beautiful name. It's a popular name for good reason. It's Becca, Becky. I knew a Riri who was a Rebecca. I mean, it's very versatile. You can play with it. It's very elegant and it's classic. Um, but it means noose in Hebrew. And it's like, and that makes you wonder, wow, why did people name their daughters Noose? That's kind of fucked up, kind of weird. Like, fan of people getting hang it? I don't know. Okay. Um, all right, this one I will put up, Ox. That's too funny. Thought my name was Oh Shit till I was 8. Every time I walked in, my dad, oh shit, he found his way back. Your dad and my dad would have gotten along, my friend. They would have gotten along. All right. Deepest thanks to my patrons. A bit of tea in Danish. Captain Kimothy the Bold. Mark Caesar, the man from down under. Santi the Sane. Dear friend. Microraptor, miss you. Haven't seen you in a while. It's probably my fault. Ox, Godless Granny. The incomparable Lavender Lady. Junie the Apostate, who is in the chat tonight. And the adorable PJ Smith. Love to all of you. Thank you so much. I'm not charging you right now because things have been very sporadic. But I gotta say, you know what? When a couple of friends of the channel sent me this mic today out of the blue, and I'm having such a shit week. You guys know my meds are all screwed up, and I'm on these and being on steroids. I've got 2 anxiety disorders, y'all, and I'm on fucking steroids. That sucks. It really sucks. I am as nervous as a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs, and I can't stop feeling that way. It's terrible. And yes, Jeannie, Rebecca is a biblical name. But yeah, it's messed up, man. So where was I going? Oh, this mic comes in the mail today out of the blue with an incredibly sweet letter, kind letter. And like that, I remember that there are kind, compassionate, intelligent, like-minded people in the world. Thank you. At some point in the future, I will take your money, Jeannie, just not right now. Yeah, harmonica man, yeah. I feel you. I feel you on that. but yeah, this letter and this thing arriving today just it really motivated me. So thank you. In the midst of a kind of a rough time when trying to navigate a lot of different things, and then when the stuff with my tooth didn't work out yesterday, and it's just been a shit few days, and this really really lifted my spirits. I can't express enough. I'm so grateful, and thank you, thank you, thank you. And now I'll stop because I'm gonna make myself cry. Okay, so I'm gonna take my weirdly medicated, emotional ass out of here for the evening. Thank you all so much for coming. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for listening to me. And seriously, you don't have to you can read this article for free, I think. Cuz I was able to get to it for free. Um so yeah, yeah, Jeannie, I had an abortive attempt at a root canal yesterday, and it turns out that my mouth and my jaw that is slightly deformed from TMJ just cannot open wide enough for the dentist to get his instruments in there and cue the blowjob jokes. Go ahead, do it. I've done it already. But yeah, he tried to do it and it didn't go. So now we're not quite sure what we're doing. Thank you. I hope it heals up well too. And the tooth is going to have to come out now, probably, which sucks because it's totally savable. That's the part that's frustrating and that sucks. Is I just need a root canal, and the bone structure is in excellent health. I was told my jaw is very healthy. That's nice, and it's a totally savable tooth. But it's only going to get worse, and at some point, if they can't do the root canal because my mouth won't open far enough. Oh, I can't take it. I have to laugh. You have to laugh at that, y'all. That's fucking funny, right? I mean, it's my very last molar on one side, and that's why if it had happened in one a little closer, we could have done it, I think. But he just could not get back there. Okay, I'm done. I'm so done. Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Junie. It's not like I was trying to hide it or anything. No, I can't pop off my jaw and come back for it later. It's a bummer. It'd be cool if I could dislocate it, or do that shark trick where like their jaw comes forward out of their face. That'd be awesome. If I could do that, then it'd be a lot easier. No, just a human being with a very small mouth, apparently. I've never had complaints before. All right. Anyway, moving on. I promise this time. No, I didn't say anything about it. I feel like I've done nothing but complain about bizarre physical ailments lately, so I didn't say a lot about it. Yeah, next time someone calls me a big mouth, say, hang on. This is too good. Thank you, Ox. Next time someone calls you a big mouth, you can say, nope, I got a doctor to prove I don't. That's right. That's right. And he was so apologetic and so, unhinging it like a snake. Yeah, that'd be cool. He was so apologetic. He felt so bad. No, it's not a wisdom tooth, honey. I'm 43. That's long gone. They did use a bite block, Junie. They did. But it couldn't, he just couldn't get, the problem is my mouth is small and he couldn't get, the instrument was too big. You've had some, I think Cadence, you've had root canals. So, that long, very thin needle on the end of the instrument, not the one that they give you the jabs with. Those are long enough that he got back there just fine. I got 8 of those and some little bit of filling, and then, and some snipping because this is of course it's a tooth that, I had drilled into as a youth, as a child at some point after my adult teeth came in, and this was one of my first cavities. I remember it in my adult teeth. And so I've got a very deep filling in there, and he went back in and he clipped it, and he And he tried and tried and tried, and by then, my TMJ on the side of my face that wasn't numbed my jaw was screaming, and then I started, I started to have a panic attack, so but then he was so sorry he couldn't do it. So I made that joke as well yesterday. I said it felt like I'd had one in my mouth for 8 hours. All right, so that's gonna get clipped. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. It's funny. Uh, yeah, send in the nanobots, says Purple. Yes, send in the nanobots. Yeah. Yeah, just between us, Cadence, I prefer bit gags to ball gags because of the TMJ thing. They do kind of fuck with my jaw. Okay. All right. Now y'all know that about me, and I'm gonna stop talking before JSL freaks out. I love you, honey. They're a very private person who married a very I don't give a shit person, so it's a balancing act. Okay, I'm gonna go now. I know I've said it like 18 times. Really gonna go now. You really know what that yes, I believe you, Cadence. Silicone, but not rubber. Oh, that is hardcore. Hey, more power to you. More power to you. All right, bye everybody. I gotta go. Love from Memphis. Remember, you can't find truth in wine, but you can find it in reason. And let's give the Catholic Church hell for this shit, particularly the American, the US bishops. Let's just, I don't know, give them hell. They want to send all of us there. Fuck them. Good night, y'all.